Hello, I do believe that we are live. Let me just turn the volume down on this. How do I do this? Sorry, I had something else playing in my ear there. I do apologize about that. We are live. We are here today to reveal the top 10 for the
last figures standing.
Yeah.
It's a good job I didn't play the other one, John, isn't it? With the reveals on it and ruin the whole stream. But no, seriously, I want to welcome everybody to the stream. Welcome my friends, John, Mr. Miko from the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Facebook group, and Chris from Banthaskull. How are you two doing today? All right?
Hey, thanks for having us, man.
Doing well.
All good. All good. So I'm just going to run down some of the chat very quickly, just say hello to some people. But basically, today in this live stream, we will be revealing the top 10 most wanted figures that you have been voting for in the last figure standing poll. We're going to talk a little bit about it before we start revealing some of the figures, basically. And then, obviously, as you know, there's going to be a process over the next few weeks where we're going to be whittling down that list until there is a last figure standing. There you go. One winner. And then at the end of that, we will be revealing a lot of the data and everything that's going to be that's been within this. But in today, we're going to talk about some of the near misses and things like that. So it's not just going to be, here's the 10 and see you later. There's going to be some other stuff going on. There's going to be some audience participation along the way as well. So I'm just going to say hello to a few people in the chat very quickly. We have Greek Freak, Dedrick, Dantween, Cisco Deer, Ray Dunkley, Chris Brazier. We have Ben Swolo Collector, Zengar, or Zenga, rather, sorry. Miles Hook, how you doing, buddy? We have Nick from Only One Kenobi, Gary Moore, Randy S., David Stevens. We have Maxime, Daniel Chart, and yeah, we did have a giggle about your comment, Daniel. Evening all. If Han Solo and Luke Farnboy aren't in this list, then the Star Wars collectors have lost their minds. Okay, we'll soon see, buddy. We will soon see. 5POA is the best from Octave Fuzz, Star Wars Rue, Stuart Holt. We've got Paul Morales. We've got Brett on Fett, Dystopian Playgrounds, Joachim Ardvedson. Hope I haven't said that wrong. Middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures all the way from New Zealand. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you here. Kobe McClurg, My Star Wars Guys. Loads of people. There's already 152 people watching. We've been going 4 minutes. That is nuts. That is crazy. So thank you so much. And, you know, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody in the community that has been, you know, putting in your lists. Chris will talk about that in a second, about how many submissions that we got and things like that. But I just want to say, you know, the response to it has been amazing. So thank you so much for everybody that's put in a list. And also thank you to, you know, other content creators that have fully supported this for us. Obviously, Jason from Yakface was on the launch party. We've had Nick, Only One Kenobi, did a list today video. I think Forces with Jesse did a list as well on a video. We've had Victoria's Cantina do a podcast. So thank you so much for pushing it out there and promoting it for us and everything. We really, really do appreciate it. And, you know, all part of the community and all that. It's awesome. So thank you so much. We've got Modal Nodes here. We've got Stephen Novak, Wyvern, Phil the Force, Jedi Ronin, C3PO Concepts, loads and loads of familiar names. Lots of my Patreon supporters and channel members are here as well, which is awesome. So thank you so much for supporting what we're doing here. Aquilish Doug, I'm sure you're aware of that name from your website, Chris. He's a big member of the community. Right, so let's just get on with it, shall we, Chris? Shall we? Do you want to talk about a little bit what you've been up to in the last couple of weeks in terms of you know, data cleansing and stuff like that?
Sure. So as everybody should know, we had 1,483. So yeah, 1,483 and 83 people submit lists of 10. That means we had to go through 14,830 names and clean those. And I just want to make sure everybody understands what we mean by cleaning the data. So, Tim, if you could bring up the Bodhi image really quick.
Just let me share that quick. I'll bring that up right now. Window. There we go.
So as you can see all the ways that somebody submitted Bodhi Rook as a name, and those all have to get standardized into one name so we can aggregate them to figure out who people voted for. And I was particularly proud of this one because I knew people were going to transpose the H and the D in Bodhi pretty quickly in this process. And I said to John, it reminded me of I felt like the movie Johnny Dangerously. I know I'm really dating myself, where they have the grapevine in the prison, and the message starts out as Vermin's going to kill Johnny's brother at the Savoy tonight, and by the time it gets to Johnny Dangerously, it's something like Johnny and the mothers are playing stomping at the Savoy tomorrow, and he goes, Vermin's going to kill my brother, because I didn't say that. He goes, I know this grapevine. I felt like I knew this community. I knew there was going to be a lot of Bodhi. There was a lot of BOHDI Bodhi Rooks out there. So, this process gets those into the right name. And one of the ways I did this, and it's pretty standard stuff for this, Tim, if you want to bring up the SAW image. So what I did is, from all the submitted names, I created a search name column off of that. And I just stripped out all punctuation, all spaces, and forced everything to uppercase. So we're removing all case sensitivity, removing any. A lot of people, don't know where the dash goes in C-3PO or 21B. So get rid of it. And what I was trying to do is I was trying to get down to like 4 characters that I could do a wildcard search on to get to see who voted for a certain character. And you'll see here what I just did is a wildcard search around SAW G. Wildcards on each end. And again, I got rid of the space, and it pulled in everything pretty cleanly for somebody that voted for Saw Gerrera. And it also, as you see at the bottom of the list, just like with Bodhi Rook, it helped me catch the typos where people spelled Gerrera wrong and get those into the correct format. So that was, basically the process. It took about 25 hours total time. And it not everything has been cleaned up, but what we're left down to that I have to clean, it doesn't impact the top 10, so we can go forward with the live stream. Obviously, I did go through. There's roughly 4,000 names out there that are haven't been cleaned, but I went through and read all 4,000 of them to make sure there was nothing that would impact the top 10, because as we're going to see later on, it was very, very close. So I did a scan to make sure there's no missed votes through this process, and I went through. I did find some. But nothing that moved that bottom 10. In fact, of the 4,000, I would say I don't think there's anything out there that really impact the top 50, maybe that's left out there. And my favorite were the people, and I made this joke on Banthaskull. I'm going to repeat here. The people that put in like plot synopsis for the figure name. Instead of it's just like they used every bit of characters. And for some reason, John might appreciate this because it's just the way people from this region talk. Every time I got one of those, I read it in my head in a Boston accent. Like whenever I saw one of those, it's like, the Emperor, where his face is kind of like all messed up. Like he wore a Rangers jersey of the God, and he got tuned up. That guy, when he says like, declaring the Emperor and Padme, Natalie Portman, she's like, nah, kid, no, we're not going to have no empire. That Emperor, they should make that Emperor. That's what they put in. Like, that's what they put in.
I just want to make sure that you know exactly which character they're talking about. I just want to very quickly just bring up this, because this is an extremely generous super chat here. And I just want to say this right now. Excuse me. Any super chats that are kindly donated in this stream here will be split 3 ways after YouTube have taken their cut, to make sure that, or to help with, obviously the work that people have done, they shouldn't get paid for that. But obviously, we are offering some giveaways at the end. So obviously, we've had to pay for those items and also the postage on those as well. So all of this, any donations like that, will go towards that. And just so that guy has donated $50, which is unbelievable. Thank you so much, buddy. He says, the recent waves of the vintage collection have been mostly new media, which I understand most people want, but there's still figures that should be in the line. And the oversaturation of Star Wars media now overshadows EU figures, prequel, and the OT. And this is this is the position that we're in because Disney are churning it out, aren't they? At the end of the day, they are churning and churning and churning. So, Hasbro sometimes say it's a good problem to have. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that really, because you get a lot of people moaning at them, don't you? Really, but we all want different things, and but I take your point 100%, buddy. So I've got a lot of comments here. So, Chris, so that's the data cleansing part. I just want to say, personally from me, thank you for doing that. And to your other half as well, because she was involved as well.
Yeah, she was.
That is something that I would not be able to do. So I appreciate that we have that skill set within the community, basically, that we're able to do that sort of thing. So thank you so much, and also thanks to John as well for a lot of the graphics and stuff that are going to be on show today. John's worked really hard on that sort of thing. I'm just the presenter.
You're the MC, man.
Did I mention I'm not doing the data cleaning next year? Have I said that yet?
That's all right.
So, we're gonna train you, Tim. You're gonna jump right in. I do want to say really quick that I know Chris mentioned on the last stream that I work on the data visualization side, so I'm on like the reporting or aggregation side. So I certainly don't take for granted the type of stuff data people do, like what Chris did there, to really transform the data and really cleanse it into a manner that people like me can then take it and aggregate it and do all sorts of pretty, as somebody who I work with once said, you make pretty pictures out of what we do. But like what Chris did is just absolutely amazing and incredible, him and Michelle, and what they did in that amount of time. So
yeah, I just want to say thank you very much, John. I just want to say one other thing too. I forgot to mention in my spiel. One last step on this, so we get the names cleaned, we get them aggregated. We made sure that if somebody submitted the same name more than one time, that only counted as one vote. There was somebody that submitted Luke Farmboy 10 times, and right here, buddy, I love you, but that only counts as one vote for Luke Farmboy. And I'm reluctant to say this because I don't want people to think that that I'm critiquing March Madness or criticizing it, because I'm not. But I think what we're trying to do here, the difference here between March Madness is they capture passion with theirs, with the ranking and that they capture the passion very well. That's important. I'm not saying that's wrong or anything. It's very important to capture the passion of the fans, and March Madness has that covered. We're trying to get more of just a more populous, like it's unranked. So yeah, maybe a few people have this figure as their most wanted, but a lot of people would buy this other figure too. And that's what we're trying to capture. So that's why, one guy screaming for Luke Farmboy is still only one guy, which we want to get that to one vote. So we eliminated people duplicating. And there's one thing I greatly apologize for that didn't think of in advance, and John and I had a quick debate on it, is that the Tonica sisters, we distilled into one name. Mm-hmm. So if somebody voted for Brea and Sunny, they only got one vote for the Tonica sisters. Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't impact the top 10. So I'm eager to see the results here in a little bit.
And I just want to say, I mean, dude, you took a Microsoft SQL server and basically built your own little database. I know it was more tables and queries, but I just gotta say, like, you geeked out on it, man, and you killed it.
Getting it from the spreadsheet into to SQL Server, that was all Michelle. Cause like, yeah, I don't know how to do it, and she's like, move. and she did it. Then I took it over from there.
Sorry if I missed this, Chris, while I was fiddling around with those images and what have you, trying to share the screen. But did you mention how many different submissions were different characters were voted?
Well,
so you said that one person had 10 Luke farm boys. If 1,500 people voted for 10 different characters, then obviously we'd know exactly how many characters we would have. But do you know roughly what that figure is, or?
I don't, because again, we haven't cleaned everything to get down to the different submissions. It's well over 100. I know that. Different. It's well over. It's probably double that.
And again, it depends how you slice and dice it, right? I mean, there can be 3 different sub outfits for a certain outfit, like the Emperor or whatnot, or a scene that people address. So it's got to be tough to really nail that down to truly what was unique, the unique amount of.
Yeah, and that's another thing. There was a lot of. It's unfortunate. There's a lot of vote splitting going on where, people want a certain character. There's a lot of demand for a certain character, but not the specific version of that character.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. It would be good, if I think going forward, if there's any strategizing going on, people should shoot for the main core if no figures of that character have been made yet, shoot for the core version of it first. Then we can worry about the subsequent versions down the road. That might be minor retools.
And when we reveal these characters or figures, we're talking about the sculpt and that, not a film out, not a card back. We're talking about the actual sculpt, outfit, attire, whatnot.
Yeah. And also, just to make this clear, if anyone's watching it from Hasbro, this is the top 10. Like, you could probably take the top 50 and they're all legitimate wants from the community. It's just that these are the 10 that have risen to the top, basically. But it doesn't.
And this, yeah.
And as we'll see later, we'll discuss some of the near misses. And when we see some of those, people are going to go, "Oh man," because a lot of people would have voted for those characters if they've only just missed. So it doesn't mean that we don't want them. Like, this is just the top 10, and we'll whittle it down to the last figure standing in a few weeks' time. And and similarly, that one figure isn't the only one we want from the list. We want them. We want them all. So,
and we'll reveal all that data too at the finale too. We don't want to reveal it now because we don't want to prejudice any thinking of anybody. We want this to be a pure voting at this stage. So, we're not going to hide it. We're not going to hide this data. It's going to be shared.
No. And just to make it clear, when we reveal these today, this is not in order of how 1 to 10. We've mixed these up to avoid prejudice, and also, just for that, basically, going into the voting, avoid that. Oh well, he was popular. Everyone's going to vote for him or her or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So, should we get on with it and should we reveal the first? Should we reveal the first one?
Do it.
Let's do it. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to reveal one at a time. Hopefully I've got them in the right order, John. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Great work, John. I'll tell you what, we've got to hype this up, haven't we? Come on.
Whew, we spared no expense. Hey, time for Tonica. Shout out to Victoria and all her efforts too. But I think it says a lot that they made the top 10.
And again, people that voted for Sonny and Brea, it only counted as one vote. So if we went to raw votes, Tonica's were safely in the top 10, but they lost about 40 votes through that process, and they still made the top 10. And this is one of 2 that we'll see that actually absolutely shocked me that it was that popular. And I went through and did a secondary scan just to make sure there wasn't a mistake in there, and it's not. Tonica sisters are legitimately in the top 10 of this.
Yeah. And I'm going to try a quick poll for the audience. Hopefully this is going to work.
Nice. G&T tuna.
Here we go. Let's see if this works. So I've put a poll in there that's just for some audience interaction here, and it's so did you vote for the Tonica sisters? Basically, either one of them, and then it will just give us an idea of how many people in the chat had that particular character in their top 10s that you submitted to the.
Oh wow, 44 votes already. 58 votes. Oh wait, 44 votes. 59 votes.
Daniel Charles, I saw Finn in that graphic. Tim, leave it out. John did the graphics, but we got to throw in a few in there, haven't we?
I will say some of these characters ranked pretty high. Some of them maybe not.
Yeah. So 77, nearly 75% of the people in the chat had the Tonica sisters in their top 10. So there you go. I'm going to end that poll now.
Because nice, 93 votes.
Let me do another
Almost 30%. Cool.
You'll have to forgive me because it is quite difficult to monitor the comments, do the poll, and talk at the same time. So if there's a bit of dead air, that's totally on me. I do apologize. Stop trolling us, Miko. Yeah, so I'm not. I don't know about you, but I'm not surprised to see the Tonicas on there at all. And quite pleased that they are.
Yeah.
As my very OCD rantings go on, we don't have almost anyone that's lined up on as we're facing the bar in the movie. The characters that line up the left side of the bar, we have virtually no one from that side of the bar. So the Tonica sisters would be the first.
So Gary Moore saying other way around him, 71% said no. So I couldn't, the way I saw it, I couldn't see which line was yes or no, but I'll take your word for it, Gary.
28% said yes, or
28% said yes. Okay, sorry. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Right, so we've that's the first one. Should we do another one?
Heck yeah.
Let's do another one. Here we go. I was going to say, please do the impression. Please do it. So that's old Ben Kenobi from A New Hope.
Yep. Or as somebody people put it, Alec Guinness, Ben Kenobi. This one came in under a bunch of different names. Old Ben, OG Ben. A lot of different
OG Ben. Yeah. Yeah. Once again, not surprised that he's on there.
Gary Moore said it'd be higher than 9. These are not ranked. This is not ranked.
Yeah, these are. Yeah, if you missed that, these are not. This is not the order that they ended up in the rank in the top 10. We've mixed them up completely, so to avoid bias going forward. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to do the poll again.
More old guys. More old dudes.
So once again in the chat, you can vote whether you had Ben in your top 10.
Wow, 50 votes already. This is great. We just do the whole thing on a live stream. Just knock it out next year on a live stream.
Yeah, one day. No data cleaning.
200, yeah, 250 votes. That'll do.
Ooh, this one's pretty down close, the middle. Yeah. Seems it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Some some people might be quite happy with the Legacy Collection one that we've got. Others might think that is desperately needed. So, and when you're asking people to only whittle it down to 10,
yeah,
somebody's got to go sometimes. So
there was a couple bends that flipped through there. If anyone noticed, there was a good boy
Mr. Ben Solo at
the
beginning.
Ben. Yeah.
Yeah, is that an indication that he might be on it later? Who knows?
Could be.
You might have needed the image for later. I'm going to end that poll now. That's 55 no, 45 yes, I believe. Which is good.
Yeah,
before we get on to the next one, shall we talk about some funnies that you got? Should we do one of those?
Absolutely.
Let me just bring one of those up. So we'll do Mr. Skoll first, shall we?
Okay.
Do that one? Yeah. Okay, hang on. Let me just This is great. This is great. Let me just share the screen. So Chris, we're going to talk about Baylan Skoll, and this is one of the names that was submitted for Baylan Skoll. Okay, I'm just going to bring it up, and you can talk about it. Okay,
yeah. Autocorrect as a mother. It caught somebody. We had one vote for Batman Skull, and this is one of the few that, as I was going through the data, made me laugh out loud, and trust that this went correctly to a vote for Baylan Skoll.
Yeah, I think we can sort of decipher who they meant.
Yeah.
I'm all for this happening in the multiverse of Star Wars.
See, now, do you see what this person created? Do you see what autocorrect created? It breathed it into the universe. Now we have people in the chat saying they want this figure, demanding this figure.
That's it.
I say it's going to be
a crossover, isn't it?
Yeah.
Autocorrect
with DC.
Autocorrect can get you in trouble or change your vote.
Kevin Hughes says variant. Could you imagine that? Like if somehow in the factory, like the hat of Batman accidentally got onto that figure's head, and how much would that be worth? That'd be just nuts.
I want to see Batman with a lightsaber now.
But yeah, we thought this was funny, and we thought we'd share it with you guys because it did make us giggle. And we got a couple of more of those as we go. So we got 254 people watching, guys. This is just crazy. Thank you so much, everyone that's watching. So how many is that now? We've done 2 now, haven't we?
Yep.
We're half an hour into the stream. So without further ado, I'll reveal another one. Let's do it.
Yeah.
There we go. First character from new media, essentially. This is the Mandalorian Season 2 version of Cobb Vanth, so the one in the armor. That is the one. So correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. Because I know John earlier was talking about different versions of characters and all. Did we split basically Sheriff Cobb to?
Yep, both got votes.
Yeah,
both got votes. If it was Cobb Vanth, I figured err on the side of the armored version, the more iconic version of Cobb Vanth. So if it was just Cobb Vanth without any description, it went to the Season 2 Mandalorian. Anyone that was specifically directed towards the Sheriff. So that's pretty amazing if Hasbro's watching. Cobb Vanth made the top 10 despite splitting votes with himself. He still made the top 10.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And there were 96 different ways people nominated Cobb Vanth. So we had to arrange those into 2 different buckets.
See,
Incredible.
Hasbro, this is what happens when you starve a community of a main character from one of the most successful Disney shows.
And I'll just say, like, I mentioned this when I was at San Diego Comic-Con, like, it's very Western themed, right? And Timothy Olyphant he's a modern day Western, I don't want to say icon, but probably one of the more well-known Western actors out there. So, man, I voted. He was on my list, and the armor one specifically. And I still want to see him. You know, I'm pretty excited for that if and when it ever happens.
Yep, me too. Absolutely. You know, my list was put together with gap, you know, filling gaps, and he didn't make my list, but that is definitely a gap, 100%. So, did you have him on your list, Chris?
I did not. I did not have him on my list because, as we've been saying, 10 ended up being very difficult. So he was just off there. And but if he gets made, I will be absolutely thrilled.
Yeah. Right. I'm just going to put the poll out there again, just to I think I spelled this wrong. Right. So you can vote whether, or you can let us know whether Mr. Cobb Vanth was on your list, specifically the Boba Fett version. There we go.
How are you guys seeing this? I feel so dumb when you guys are seeing it in progress.
I have my mobile phone with it on next to me. And
yeah. So I'm to run the poll.
Wait a minute. John has a mobile phone. Does that mean he has a landline still? Does he?
Sorry, myself.
KL5.
Zach Morris here.
So, Chris, to run the poll, I'm having to switch to YouTube because obviously we're looking at StreamYard at the moment. I'm having to switch to YouTube to then run the poll, and the YouTube stream is behind what I'm watching on StreamYard. So as I'm running the poll, I can see you doing this, and I think, like, what are they saying? What are they laughing at? Like, and obviously it's like 2 minutes behind or whatever. So.
Okay, I got it now. I just didn't scroll enough on the YouTube.
Yeah. So how are we doing on that one then?
I'm seeing 108 votes.
108 votes, yeah.
50-50, pretty much.
Wow. 51, yes.
Wow.
50-50.
Yeah. That's pretty.
Zip it, Chris. I have a landline.
Right, I'm going to end that poll because it's pretty conclusive. Landlines over there. Do you have to have a landline to have broadband? Because over here you do. Like, that you probably don't have to, but they make you buy it. Just like
they bundle.
Oh yeah, to have broadband, you've got to have a landline. You know,
they bundle it in, but you don't have to.
Right. Okay. How many? Right. So that's 3. Let's do one more, and then we'll do another funny. Okay. Let's do this. The 4th reveal is. Yes! It is not a fix, ladies and gentlemen. Luthen made the list. That is great. And John, I've just got to say, mate, you had me crying just then because of Marva the Brick.
Marva Brick.
Marva the Brick. I learned a lot of new names from Andor too. What's that, Chris?
Nobody voted for Marva Brick. Just to set the record straight.
I think I had a dream that somebody voted for it, or I think someone might have mentioned it in our live stream last couple weeks ago. But man, I had a lot of fun pulling up the Andor characters and remembering or learning names like Brasso, and never thought I'd learn Cyril Karn's mother's name, Edie Karn.
She needs to figure that one.
We should start a movement, make Edie Karn TVC.
So is Brasso the big guy like his mate?
Yeah,
works at the thing? Yeah. So they should do a deluxe pack with him, the droid, and Marva the Brick. That's how you get her in the line. There you go.
and this, by the way,
he can wallop someone around the head with it.
This again is another character that split votes because people did vote for the antique dealer version.
The wig. Didn't you get ones like with wig?
that one with a wig accessory. So that went to the Rebel Alliance bucket.
Shout out to whoever asked for the wig accessory. True deluxe.
Brilliant.
True deluxe.
Right. Let's quickly do the poll to see how many people, because this would be an interesting one. I want to see the chat is going nuts, by the way.
Nice. John's putting some good stats in there too for March Madness, which is great. Ben, Cobb, and Luthen were number 5, 6, and 7 on the March Madness top 25.
Luthen.
Tonica's were number 12. But yeah, cool, man. Thanks, John.
So there you go. There's the poll. Was Luthen in your top 10? Let's see how many people in the YouTube chat. Oh, there's a lot of no's already.
Yeah. Didn't make mine.
It's going down slightly. 62.
Yeah, and please throw in the chat what you think the next most wanted reveal might be, who you think it would be. Where are you at here?
Yeah, so some people have put Mitchell Gums put, I didn't, but I'd still want to buy him. And this is the point that I was making, like the ones that have made the top 10, you could probably add another 30 or 40 characters that legitimately should be getting made that finished below those 10. So 63% said no. So that's not, so 37% had him in their list. That's not too bad. I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to end this poll now. Nick, only one said, can anyone else only see a white poll? Are you not seeing the results? If anyone else is having that problem, let me know. Hopefully not.
Nick, time to upgrade from Windows 95. All right.
Is he watching this in 640 by 480?
It's entirely possible. Right, should we do another funny? Let's do another funny. I'm gonna tell you what, I'm just gonna get this ready. So we're gonna do Miss Ventress. Okay. So let me just share the screen. Window. Okay then, Chris. Are you ready to talk about this one?
Sure.
Right, here we go.
It's not coming up for me.
I see it.
Oh.
Is it not there for you, Chris?
No, it's not coming up, but I know what it is. So there it is. So I now know this means Dark Disciple Ventress.
Right.
But when I just saw this came in, I had no idea what it meant, and it just cracked me up. Asajj Ventress with hair. People are saying she has hair. So I didn't notice, but just the way it was, everybody else had it, Dark Disciple, but one person had it in Asajj Ventress with hair. So I figured that
that's Ben Swallow. Yes, Karen Ventress. Yes, exactly. Yes,
and this is the classic, making use of tooling. Once they make the removable wig for Luthen, they can slap it on Asajj Ventress.
Oh, brilliant.
Man, it's great.
Brilliant. The chat is going nuts. Only one says he just can't see what he's clicking on. I don't know. Yeah, what are you watching it on?
Windows ME.
Maybe change device if that might help. I don't know. Okay. Right. Let me just stop sharing that. So we've got one more funny after that. Let's do another one, shall we? Let's move it on. So what are we up to now?
We're going to.
Was that number
5?
4?
We're going to 5.
We're on number 5. Here we go. So halfway there. Here we go. And I swear I did not actually realize that she was going to be the 5th one picked there in the orders of the videos. We just happened to talk about the one with hair, and now we can see the one with the real one without the hair.
Wow. I was like, he's teeing it up. This is great.
And this is again another character that split votes with themselves. A lot of votes for Asajj Ventress, whether it be Night Sister or Dark Disciple. Probably one of the most, just if you went by raw character, for one of the most voted for characters. And I love that no two people spelled Asajj correctly. And it's the same way and through this thing. It's like the fans know that one of the letters was doubled up. So we got a lot of Asajj Ventress, got 2 S's or 2 A's. So it was a big cleanup to get that
Massage Ventress
into the correct format.
Sue Ventress. I didn't think she would make a top 10 most wanted. That's my ignorance there, I guess. But I don't know if some of the talk in the community about what I think Tim, both of you, I think maybe wrote articles or mentioned this about Morgan Elsbeth's.
Yeah, Jason mentioned it on the launch party. Jason mentioned that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the impetus for the article that I wrote.
Yeah.
I wonder if some folks have, globbed onto that as a, hey, this can be done now. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm going to start the poll. So you're voting whether you had Clone Wars Ventress on your list. So here we go.
Not the one with hair.
And as I shared that poll on my YouTube, I've got a picture of Batman Skull still, which that's how far it is behind. I don't know why it does that, why it's so far behind. But let's have a look. What's going on? So 59% no, so 41% yes at the moment.
Oh yeah, I should bring up Dooku, right? Because we're getting Dooku. That's another big reason. Yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah. No. Village
0 from 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy.
What's that? What happened?
Come back next year. 59% said no. So, as you say, there was different versions of her voted for and what have you. Yeah. So still a decent representation. Let's end that. Yeah, sorry, John. In the chat, middle-aged Kiwi man said that he's 0 for 5 so far.
That's what he gets from being from a place that's make-believe.
It's in Middle Earth. That's make-believe. Yeah. That's right. Well, list some of your most wanted there. Hopefully, it wasn't Klieg Lars 10 times.
Randy also said he's 0 for 5 as well.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll change with the next 5. Who knows? Why don't we see if the next one is one of those? Let's do it. Let's do number 6. Here we go. Hammerhead. He was on your list, wasn't he, Chris?
Nope, he was not on my list.
Oh, he wasn't. He was on John's. There you go.
He was on mine. Yeah.
And again, this is one of the ones where I'm like, is this right? And I pulled up and I went through every single one, and it's absolutely right. I couldn't believe that many people had Momaw Nadon or Hammerhead on their list.
Of course, yeah. Same thing, yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Please.
Yeah, come on, Hasbro. Like, sort it out. What did I say last time? To get your finger out.
And I just want to say, it wasn't on my list, but I've said this several times. Being, even old, being the oldest person here, I remember the 20 backs, and that's to me what made the Kenner line magical. Because we had lots of toy lines that would always do the main characters, but when we got those 20 backs, and some of them, like, I don't even know what these guys are. I don't know where they show up in the movie, but it just was so magical to me.
Walrus Man and
Snaggle. I had no idea what Snaggle was.
Greedo.
Yeah.
Greedo. Yeah. Greedo. We obviously knew
Greedo was like
yeah. The Death Star droid, the power droid, Snaggletooth, Walrusman. Yeah, Greedo. It was just, that's what really made the Kenner line great. Until then, it was just another toy line. Those 20 backs made it great.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't around, I wasn't playing with Star Wars toys when they first came out, but I kind of I think the Jedi theme carried that on. A lot of aliens and stuff in the Jedi, a lot of sort of background characters, like weird Ewoks and whatever. So I totally agree though. They are some of the best characters or figures in the Kenner line. Which right there.
And one fellow there, Dam, he noted something that I noted in the article I wrote for Banthaskull, that Hammerhead made an appearance in 1982's E.T. And Elliot goes through his figures, and he rattles off Greedo, Hammerhead, and Walrus Man, and then Boba Fett, and I think Lando. But yeah, man, he's iconic.
And is it the Clone Wars or is it Rebels? I can't remember which one it is. They have him in the blue spandex thing, don't they?
Yeah. The last season.
Clone Wars canonized the singlet Hammerhead.
That's Filoni, isn't it? That's got.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, I didn't have him on my top 10 because.
Speaking of which, Tim, you forgot the poll.
Oh yes, sorry. Hang on. Let's do the poll quick.
We need an update.
And there's the comment.
Hammerhead poll. Here we go, because this will be an interesting one. He's made the top 10, and
wow. It's the first one I've seen jump out with the yes in the lead. Now the nose pulled ahead.
Only just so. It's very,
Come on, everyone, vote.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I don't think I put him on my top 10, but he's one of those that, when I was doing my top 25 for March Madness, he was on it, without a doubt. And as we've said lots of times before, when you're picking that top 10, some have got to go and some are going to be very, very close to getting into that top 10, but you've got to draw the line at some point. So
it's still pretty strong for 124 votes, 46% yes. It's still pretty good.
0 from 6, but at least I don't have a landline like Neanderthal. Don't need those in the Shire. Brilliant. So 54% no. That's 50-50. That's 50-50. Let's end the poll. There we go.
Hey, 46% yes. That's still pretty solid.
Got 282. I want to hit 300 people watching. I'm hoping we do. That'd be awesome. Right.
I'm 3 for 6. I'm 3 for 6, fellas.
I don't remember who was revealed already on the next one in our count, but I could. Yeah, I definitely had Luthen.
I think I've got 2 so far.
Right. So was that this? That was the number 6. Let's do number 7, and then we'll do another funny. Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Here we go. He's on there. He's on there. Shock horror. He's on. He is in the top 10 most wanted figures. Shock.
We had to put him under Ben.
Let's do the poll on this one. This will be interesting. Let's see how many people watching right now.
I'm glad I got to hit yes for a change.
276 people watching. Pretty amazing. Thanks, everyone.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Here we go. The poll has started.
Ew.
Wow, look at it jump back and forth.
Whoa. It's pretty divided. Oh.
50%.
Wow. Come on, everyone, vote.
Oh, it's hanging there. Oh.
Vote. Vote. Vote.
Yeah, we must stress that there are people watching that might not be able to vote in the poll because because they're not on a device that will allow them to do it or whatever. So, but it's still a good barometer, if that's the right word.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're...
Whoa, it just pulled ahead.
Oh, 50-50.
Back to,
I can't see how many votes have we've had. Can you see that?
I see 133.
133, okay.
Now 135.
See if we can get to 140 votes, and then I'll end it. Are people still voting?
It's hanging at 138 for me.
It's dripping, yeah.
Okay.
139. 50-50 with an odd number, so that's pretty amazing. I don't know how that happened.
50. Oh, I just saw 51%.
Yeah, it's over.
Oh,
end it,
close
Tim. End
it. Close
Kill
it. Close it.
51% yes. End the poll. I have no influence over the actual top 10, but I have influence over things like that. So there you go.
Oh, good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So
someday.
Luke, did Luke? I can't remember. Did Luke win March Madness?
No, Dooku did. He was in.
Dooku
I think he made it to the Final Four. John can chime in, but he definitely, I think, made it to the Final Four.
I know he's one of the top seeds.
Yeah,
Leia was one. I know Leia was one.
Leia was one, and I think Luke might have been.
I hope I'm not wrong there, but maybe he was the 4th seed. But I know he made it pretty far.
I think what it is, I'm thinking about my live stream that I did with John and Nick and a couple, and I think the final ended up being, I think Luke won it. I think Luke won our one that we did,
and
which obviously has no bearing on actual March Madness.
Oh, Luke was number 2, very close to Leia, number 1. Leia 1.
Luke made it to the Final Four.
Duke 3, Han. Yeah, and hey, John, I don't know if you saw it though, but Lumpy made it into the figures that were shuffling through. So there you go. Maybe he made the top 10. Who knows?
Yeah. And there's for me, with the classic farm boy Luke, there's so many other things that they could do with that. You've seen the one that we've got on TVC now with the Stormtrooper belt. You've got the blast shield with the training ball. You know, there's loads of stuff they could do with that.
There's so many releases
over and over.
So many releases, and without even doing any sculpting or tooling, you have the gunner card. Yeah. Right off the bat, people go nuts for that gunner card to find out released in TVC. The alt card.
They should definitely, like they did with the Revenge and the foils.
Yeah.
Even maybe for the three mains. Well, not Leia because she didn't have an alt card, but
make one. I think they make a new one.
You could do the 4, couldn't you? And then the 4 alt cards with Leia being a Hasbro alt card. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Just do it, man. You know.
And even in the same case, split it 50-50. Double them up, split it. People will buy 2 cases. They'll buy 2 cases like that. A lot of collectors will. I have to go get a refill here. This is running longer than expected. So can I take a 2-second break?
We won't run another one until you come back.
And don't talk crap about me because I got my AirPods on.
Wait, you're going to the bathroom. Yeah, you're secretly going to the bathroom. We know you are. Don't lie.
John, you've drank with me before. You know I go to the bathroom once a night.
I'm urinating right now. You just don't know it. Set up a bladder below me I've got a catheter in.
Don't break that seal, John. Whatever you do.
Speaking of getting old.
Getting old. It's always like when I was 19. Break the seal. That's it. You're going for the rest of the night.
So when we went to the Amy Allen event, Chris came to Red 5 Toys and Collectibles, and then we went out. We went to a pub and had dinner and some drinks, and then we went and John had to learn to be a man. Went and had cigars, and I don't know if it was the nicotine or what, but I broke the seal there, and I think I got up like 15 times to go to the bathroom. Yeah. So yes, I'm never gonna let that down. Even if I just not
even funny, it goes. It's every
even if I just go once, even if I just go once, Chris is gonna go. Oh, you went to the bathroom 50 times. So all in good fun. But yeah, that was a good time. And if you ever go to a cigar bar, you're gonna reek like cigar like you never thought you would on the way home.
As far as I'm aware, I don't think we have cigar bars.
No,
like over here you can't smoke in public places at all. So
right, yeah,
maybe they do just have like a place like that you can. I don't know.
Yeah, cigar lounge, or cigar bar. They have wine bars too that are like tailored to wine drinking.
Yeah, we have those. We have those.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're not. Yeah. By the way, I just want to say that we did hit 301 people watching a second ago. We're now down to 297, and I blame that on Chris because he's back.
Yeah, go back.
Hey guys, see you on the next one.
Right. So we're going to do a funny, weren't we? We've got another funny. Let's do that. Let me just prepare it.
Speaking of cigars.
So this is a good one. I've saved this one to last. This one's a classic. Let's see if I can move back now. Right, present, share screen, window. Here we go. So this one was voted for, everybody. Here we go. Blaze Malbus was voted for.
Tell me you got more than one. Tell me you got more than one.
A lot of autocorrect got a lot of people.
This means you've used the word blaze before.
Yeah.
Owners.
Did you get their email addresses? Do you want to pass that on to the police or something? Or?
Oh, so there's an important thing. Once we get into this phase, we stripped out all email addresses. Everybody gets a GUID, so we have no idea who these people are.
Yeah, and some people did ask that, right? So we wanted to try to control the amount of times you could vote. So that was a part of the email verification with YouTube. And then, like Chris said, once you brought it in, transformed it, you got rid of it.
This is No Cave says, can we recap while Chris drains the main vein?
So we got the Tonica sisters, we got Ben Kenobi, we got Cobb Vanth in armor, we got Luthen, Asajj Ventress, and Hammerhead, and then Luke.
Yeah.
So those are the 7 we've got so far.
7, and we've hit the hour. So let's do the next one then. Let's do number 8. Is it number 8?
Blunt Malbus.
Oh, great.
I've had plenty of those cigars in my life. Sorry.
Right, number 8. Here we go. Ready? As new media as you can get. There you go.
Boom.
So I'm going to do. We got 303 people watching now, which is awesome. Thank you very much. We are going to do the poll now for Mr. Batman Skull. Let's do this, and it'll be interesting for the results versus what Luke just got. Actually, so Luke was 50-50, wasn't he, or 51% yes. So here's the poll for Baylan. It is live. Here we go.
I saw some while we're getting the votes in here. I saw some article on like who could replace Ray Stevenson in the show, and I think I saw one that was pretty good. Like what's his name? Liv Schreiber. I was like, oh, I could totally see that. You know. So
he's the new voice of God.
What's that?
He's the new voice of God. He narrates. I can't think of the show all of a sudden. The one on HBO, the training camp show, that they do every year.
Training camp.
They embed in one of the training camps. Come on, somebody in the comments. The show.
Oh, football. The football.
Yeah.
Hard
Knocks. Is it Hard Knocks?
No. Yes.
Hard Knocks. Okay. Someone's saying
Yeah. So he narrates that. So he's the new voice of God, taking over for John Facenda.
I think it was the Jets was the last one, right?
Yeah.
Was it the Jets? Yeah.
67 people in the chat.
Wow.
Had Baylan
7%
in their top 10 list.
Did all 3 of us?
I did not.
You did not.
Or maybe I did. I can't even remember. I'm going to have to find my list. Hang on.
I think Tim got a little strategery in here and said, "Oh, that's going to come anyway."
I said that about Luke. I thought Luke would come anyway, so I didn't. In March Madness, I put a lot of the mains, and this one, my list was very Rogue One heavy.
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges,
which isn't looking too good for me right now.
George Clooney. I love all the.
There you go. These things solve themselves.
Finished on 66%. 66% yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the second one to be over 50, right?
So you had him in your list, John?
I did.
And Tuna?
Yes. Yep, Adam.
Oh yes, you did. Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum.
Different film.
Life finds a way.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my list. It's very Rogue One heavy. I had 4 from Rogue One.
Nice.
I'm just looking at the moment. As we stand, I've just got Luthen that I voted for. So I'm one for 8. They're the breaks. Right. So shall we do another?
I think so.
Hit it.
Rolling. Come on.
If they make one, they've got to make the other.
Right. That's right.
So I'm glad she made the list. While you guys can discuss her, I will set the poll up.
How many different Shin Hati spellings did you get there, Chris?
that one I don't remember.
Bleep Hati.
It's funny. The more obscure the character, the cleaner it was, because obviously people would go look it up and probably cut and paste the spelling. But if it was a main character, they just went from the hip. I did not have her on my list. It was a tough.
I did not either. So you're giant. Baylan, Shin, and Luthen were on my personal list. Nice. 5 of mine made the list. Nice. Hamdam.
Wow.
So
what do we
got?
A
lot more people wanted Baylan than they. Well, not a lot, but more people wanted Baylan than they did Shin, according to the YouTube chat poll.
But if you're going to buy Baylan, you're going to buy Shin. Yeah. She's not on my list, but if they make Baylan and they make a Shin, of course I'm going to buy both.
I loved her armor and all that stuff, so it'd be pretty cool sculpt, I think. The last one had better be Han Solo.
Spoiling the reveals with the poll, Tim. Am I doing that?
I don't know what he means there.
I'm not doing that, am I?
I don't think they understand what we're doing here for a poll.
So just to be clear, we're revealing the figures that everyone voted to be on the top 10. We're going through them one by one, and then after it's been revealed, I'm asking how many people in the YouTube chat had that figure on their top 10. That doesn't spoil anything, does it? Chris, no?
No, absolutely not.
No. It's just to get a more, a sense of what people want in the chat and have some user interaction, make it a bit more fun. Yeah.
Are we going to do the last one, or are we going to do the near misses first?
We can do that. Yeah, we can probably do the near. Yeah, I think we can do. It's safe to do the near misses now.
No.
No.
He made the video, so
no, we can't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So should we just hang around for the next 20 minutes before we do the last one? Keep people waiting.
Let's ask who do we think the last of the 10 most wanted?
That's a good question.
Who's it gonna be? I saw some people. I think Daniel Chart said it better be Han Solo.
Tim, can we bring up Fritz's comment from 610?
610. So that's 1110 for me. There's a lot of 1110s. Here we go. This one?
Yeah, so this is another one. These are other subsets we'll get into when this is all done. There's a lot of votes from Jabba's Palace, a ton. But people just, again, it's kind of like when, the same character split votes. There's not a consensus on what Jabba's Palace character people want in their top 10. So even though there was a lot of love for Jabba's Palace, none of them, spoiler alert for number 10, none of them cracked the top 10.
I want to see here what we got for names. Lots of Han Solos, Yatsaren,
Fozek, Savage,
Anakin, Fozek, Yarna de. Come
Snowtrooper, Snowtrooper, Anakin, Boba in his underpants. Did you get that one? Did anyone vote for that, Chris?
I'm sure they did. The only Boba Fett's I cleaned were the episode 5 ones.
Right. Come on, Hasbro. If you've given us Chrysanthemum, we need Boba Fett in his pants.
his back to pants, his back to shorts.
Could be a play set with a back to tank.
Oh yeah. Some of those printed sets. I want to buy one of those so bad. And just a reminder, this isn't the 10th most wanted figure here. These are all random,
Yeah.
It's random placement. It doesn't mean this was number 10 on the list.
The Shin poll was posted before the reveal. You must be like what is it?
I would say like
maybe you've paused the stream or something like that, because that's probably what it is. You might want to keep where you are with it, but then your chat will be behind or not in sync with what's going on, or refresh, and then you'll be in tune with what's going on. So I apologize, my friend. This is no cave if it's not working for you. But
can you bring up Mitchell Gum's comment from 6 or 11:12 p.m.?
Yeah,
311 people right now. It's awesome.
What if he meant The Last Jedi? Could have meant The Last Jedi too. We didn't think of that. Such a popular episode.
Chris, you assumed he means Return of the Jedi. He might have meant Revenge. Gotcha, right.
But he could have meant The Last Jedi. Should have clarified.
Yeah. So people are saying Mon Mothma -Rendar. So yeah, this is no cave is saying same with Baylan. Yeah, buddy, I think you're just like yours is behind a little bit, and I apologize if I guess running the poll for people that are behind might spoil that, but I can't see anyone else is.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If you're behind, the chat is still keeping up with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. But I have tried to leave it, a good sort of minute at least after we've revealed it. But yeah.
Gotcha.
Wilro Hood. 88 with elbows. You had to go there, mate. You had to go there. He says, my timeline was behind on me. Do not worry, my friend. Do not worry. Do not worry. Okay. Should we do it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. And the 10th and final figure for last figure or character rather for last figure standing is and he was on my list. Get in there. Brilliant.
So, a little background on this and what John was alluding to earlier. Whenever there was a debate, on the data cleanup, I didn't settle it. I threw it out to Jason, Tim, and John and said, what about this? So if somebody asked for Sith Eyes Anakin, just because the sculpt will be identical, we'd put that into episode 3 Anakin. And if somebody asked for World Between the Worlds Anakin from Ahsoka, it's the same sculpt, it's the same figure. Yeah. It went into episode 3 Anakin, and that did bump somebody out of the top 10 as a result of that.
Yeah.
But we feel it's the right thing. Again, I didn't make this call. That was on my list. I didn't want to make these calls, so I threw it out to the other 3 people.
I think it makes sense. As we say, card backs are kind of irrelevant, like how they package these things.
Right.
At the end of the day, they might chuck one in a deluxe, and then we're all screwed. So it's about the the sculpt of the figure, definitely. So there you have it, guys. Shall I bring? Let me see if I can share the results now in full, so we can just quickly talk about them.
And you got to do the poll for Anakin too.
Oh yeah, let me do the poll for Anakin first. Yeah.
So Anakin was on my list. I know he was on yours, Tuna, and Tim said he was on his.
Yeah.
It's just seeing some of these just amazing sculpted and articulated figures. It's like, need Anakin. We need an update. There he is. I'm going more than I think this is going to be up there, over 50%.
I think it'll be, yeah.
Oh.
Before more votes just came in, I thought it'd be around 50-50, to be honest, this one.
Don't forget, if you go to
Nick's put, nice to see no 7, 8, and 9. Well, yeah.
There were some.
It wouldn't be my choices. Let's put it that way.
There were some nominations from those movies that did well. They just didn't crack the top 10.
Yeah.
And again, we'll get to that at the end. One of my favorite, and I should have put in the finals, was Ben Solo, Good Boy Sweater. That was another of my favorite nominations.
So 65 people have said no to Anakin.
Wow, my bad.
But remember, if you said World Between the Worlds Anakin, Sith Eyes of Anakin with red saber when he was fighting Ahsoka, it's the same sculpt, and that went into the Revenge of the Sith bucket.
Great point.
Right, let me just quickly share the screen with the results.
I know we were getting a lot of Han requests there in the chat. So,
okay, so there is the last figure standing top 10 most wanted results. These are 100% the top 10 figures that everybody voted for. Not that everybody voted for, but the ones that came out on top. And these will be the ones that we go forward with over the next 2-3 weeks or whatever it is, as we whittle them down. So we will be doing more Google Sheets for you to vote on, where you get to sort of pick a certain amount. We can talk about the proper rules in a second, but you'll be able to pick a certain amount each week, and then we'll knock a certain amount out. Is that right, Chris?
Yep. So the first week, you'll pick from this list, pick up to 5. If you don't want 5, you don't have to. Pick up to 5 from this list, and then the top 6 will advance to the next week. So we're going to eliminate 4. A week from today, we're going to eliminate 4 from this list right here.
And the voting will start today. John, Miko, you'll be sharing a link at the end, or when are you going to do that?
Do you want me to do it right now?
You can do it right now for people in the chat if they want to do that, or but it'll be on all social medias. Obviously, follow the Last Figure Standing Instagram account. If you do that, we'll all be sharing it, and hopefully other people in the community will be sharing it as well. And yeah, hopefully we'll get lots of votes. Hopefully more than actually submitted the list. But if we get any around the same amount, then that would be awesome.
And I have to say, looking at this, I went 5 for 10 myself, and I promise you I didn't fudge the results. I went 5 for 10, but I would be absolutely thrilled with all 10 on this list to buy every single one on this.
Me too.
This list.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking. I'm 2 for 10 of that list, but I would say all of those, I think, apart from the 2 new characters, Baylan and Shin, because March Madness wasn't happening at that, when these characters were around. All of those others, I believe, were in my top 25. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not Cobb Vanth, I don't know, but all the others were 100%. So that's how difficult it is to whittle it down to 10.
Somebody just said my Bad Batch submissions failed me. Bad Batch did well, just didn't crack the top 10. They did well.
Yeah, and this is the point. Like, we're going to talk about near misses in a minute, but these 10 are the elite, and even the 22nd place figure will still be a well represented figure, no doubt. I'm sure. That's the problem.
I'm not sure if it's letting me post it. I did try from one of my from my personal account. I don't know if it's going to make the chat. Otherwise, we'll post it after the stream.
Follow Last Figure Standing on Instagram. Please follow Last Figure Standing on Instagram.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll stop sharing that now. Okay, so should we talk about some near misses then, shall we? Should we do that now?
Yep.
So this is the image with the two characters on it, John, that we're going to talk about. Is that right? That you sent? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me just say, just before I share this, both of these figures were on my top 10 list. So had these got in there, and it was close because they're near misses, then I would have been 4 for 10. So there you go. Here we go. These are the near misses. We're only going to reveal 2 of them. We'll get into more of the data another time. But there you go. So let's talk about those very quickly, or not quickly, because we've still got a while to go. Do you want to expand on these, Chris, a bit?
Sure. So the Snowtrooper missed by only 22 votes from getting in the top 10. But considering that it's an army builder and people are going to buy 2 or more of them, almost every collector is going to buy 2 or more of them, I think that almost is a mandate for Hasbro to update the Snowtrooper. Give us a nose to Snowtrooper. I often say, would you bet your job when you ask Hasbro to do something? Would you bet your job on it? Because that's what we're asking Hasbro to do when we say you should make X, Y, and Z. We're asking those people on the brand team to literally bet their jobs on the success of that figure. I would bet my job on the Snowtrooper based on the results of this. I'd have no, and I just wrote about this. All the tooling reuses of it that you get. You immediately get the deluxe set with the E-Web cannon. You get the Troop Builder set, the Pulse exclusive Troop Builder set. You get, with a slight retool, you get the Snowtrooper Commander from it. And the one I keep pushing for, the Blue Stars, the Uze Blue Stars, you could make that from this, which I think would just be a killer convention exclusive. People would go nuts for. So I would bet my job on that figure being a newly tooled Snowtrooper being a success. So I missed by 22 votes. The next one is razor thin. Baze missed by 5 votes.
Wow.
From the top 10. That was so close. And I went through, and I know Tim really wanted this one, and I went through and tried to find all the blazes, all the bays with an S, base, Malbus. I went through, and he just missed by 5 votes. I went through them all, and it's not there to bump out what number 10 was. So it was razor close on that one. But still, the same thing. I think Hasbro can feel pretty safe about investing in a Baze Malbus based on this.
I hope so. He's one of those ones that comes as a 2, doesn't he? We've got his mate. It just seems ridiculous to. It just seems ridiculous to bring out Chirrut if you don't even if you're not planning to put Baze out. I mean, how many? When did Chirrut come out? Was that 2020? Was he in the Luke Jedi wave? Was that 2019? Was it? time goes so quickly, doesn't it? I forget when that one came out now. It seems a long time ago.
I think you're right. I think it was 2020.
Yeah. So, you know, it's already been too long. Too long. Yeah. So there you go. Any comments on those near misses, John?
I did not have either of them on my list, but I would happily buy both of them. And like you guys were saying, I mean, many of the Snowtrooper for sure. Chirrut's an absolute amazing figure, in my opinion, and it'd be really cool to see Baze right next to him. So, yeah.
The thing that I think about when the Snowtrooper, I just looking at that picture of it there, and how good the figures have been, you know, the newly tooled figures have been. How good could they make one of them? Like that's what I keep thinking about. How good it would be. It would be so good.
Yeah.
And what they've done with the soft vinyl plastics, you know, they wouldn't have to do that. And the last one we had kind of had. I don't know if you remember the first like prototype images of the Kama were almost like furry. And people are like, well, what's going on? Then they kind of refined it before we got to that VTSC one, where it was, you know, a better soft goods. But now they could almost get away with the soft vinyl on that and really nail both the aesthetics and the functionality at the same time.
Yeah.
Whoever's dog that is agrees with me.
The one we've got's got swivel hips, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And I think I said before on the launch, he's in that weird stance, isn't he? That
it's like a wide stance. Some of them had like a little narrower. I don't know how they did that, but some of them had a narrow stance. But the big thing to me is, you know, we're looking at him here with the, you know, the E11 in two hands. You cannot get the hands close enough on that figure to do a two-handed grip on the E11. It will do it, but again, like I said on the launch party, it's because the E11 it came with was so bendy. It's kind of in a C shape by the time you get it in both hands. So I just want a Snowtrooper that can do exactly what we're looking at on screen right here.
Yeah.
And yeah. I've been buying stupid amounts of figures lately, but I would go crazy for a new Snowtrooper.
Yeah, me too. My little Hoth setup down there is missing lots of those. Unfortunately, got plenty of the Rebels, and you know.
And as I often said, I have a lot of the VTSC Snowtroopers. I just don't feel like putting them out in my little Hoth setup there because I don't like the figure.
Yeah. Do we have anything else planned that we plan to talk about that I'm forgetting before we just give some information about the few, you know, what's going to happen over the next few weeks and what have you? Am I forgetting anything that we plan to show or speak about?
I don't think so.
No. Oh, John's on mute.
Sorry, I did post the December calendar out there as well on Instagram. So just as we talk about the events coming up, right? So we're kicking off. We unveiled the 10 most wanted. We're going to kick off round one, and there's the calendar out there to help speak through that if we need to.
Yeah, a few people, Chris, are asking where Han Solo was. So can you expand on that one a bit?
He was about 30 votes away. He was actually, so we did the two closest near misses. He was number 4 on the near miss. Should I say what number 3 was?
Yeah.
Pong Krell. So Han Solo episode 4 came in behind Pong Krell. by And you're making me do the thing I said I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do the old man bifocal thing. So I could, looks like about 8 votes behind Pong Krell.
Michael Goddard says, any reveals due from Hasbro for the rest of the year? I do not know.
I think there could be something. I don't know what scale it will be. I think there could be something on the 28th.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know what scale it will be.
Is that part of that campaign thing that they've still got running? The Christmas gifts thing?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, it'd be Black Series then. I don't know.
Daniel Chart asked, what was got the most votes? We'll reveal that after the winner's declared. So in the finale, we'll tell you who got the most votes.
Yeah. So we don't want to, because that'll tell you who was in rank number 1, basically, won't it?
Right.
Yeah.
It will tell you who's number 1 is.
Yeah. So we don't want to do that because we don't want to, like, have any bias for the next round, basically. So you're voting on the 10 characters are there. Nobody knows what order they were voted in, how popular they were versus each other, and then it's a straight competition. You, as Chris said, you pick your 5, and we get rid of 4. The 6 go through. And then Chris, then the next round what do they vote for? 4 of the 6, and we get rid of 3 or something, or
I think you vote for half. So whatever it is. So 6, you get to pick 3. Then we go to 4. You can pick 2, and then obviously you pick your final one.
Gotcha.
So we're going to go 10, 6, 4, 2, winner.
I'll rephrase the question. Who had the most votes, and why was it Farm Boy League? Well, that is what you might think, Daniel. You never can tell. That's what I'll say to that. You never know.
So somebody asked about Phantom Menace characters, and there's nothing in the top 30 for the Phantom Menace.
Oof. The voting, the polling form is now in the last figure standing profile. I'm making a post right now, so forgive me as we speak. I made a graphic and I'm posting.
Rudy Smith says, is Hasbro watching? I don't know if somebody's watching it live right now. I haven't seen Emily, for example, often comments on the live streams that we do. But I know she's aware of it. I know that she knows that tonight was happening and that the whole last figure standing thing is happening. So hopefully they're paying attention.
Do you want me to go down some broad categories of the top 30?
Yeah.
Number 10.
Any insights that you can give us that don't spoil anything or influence anything? Then go for it.
So we know we had a Rogue One and an Episode 5 from the near misses we showed. Then I just told you there was a Clone Wars in Episode 4, another Clone Wars, Return of the Jedi, Mando, Andor, Rogue One, Solo. Let's see, next 3. Numbers 21, 22, and 23 are all Rise of Skywalker. Next 2 are Bad Batch. Next 2 are Jabba's Palace. Another Episode 5. 1 from Fallen Order. And take a wild guess what that is. And 1 from Shadows of the Empire. And that's the top 30.
Yeah, I think I can probably guess who I think the Andor one would be after Luthen, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. And so sorry, just talk about those Rise of Skywalker ones quickly. So sorry, there was three together. Like they finished
21, 22, and 23 are all from Rise of Skywalker.
So not quite in the top 20, but still that is is pretty high up for, let's face it, a media that isn't universally liked. You know, it splits the fandom, doesn't it? So
I will say in my mind, I kind of have like a bar where, you know, above that bar it's safe for Hasbro, and below that bar could be dicey, and they are just below that bar. The bar stops at 19, where I think the safety for Hasbro is. Below that, I'm not so sure that it's safe.
When you say safety, it's like surefire. Don't need to worry.
Not surefire, but won't. I don't think it will be a flop.
Right.
You know, break even at worst type of thing. So I do think those fall in the category where it's a little it could be hit or miss. But I don't know. Should I say what number 21 is? The leader is
from the Rise of Skywalker. Yeah,
it's the Sith Eternal Palpatine. I feel that one would do well. Even people who did, I think that one would do well.
Yeah, purely because who it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've seen a lot of people wanting that one. So
yeah.
Yeah. Somehow. we don't know how, but somehow he's the main baddie again.
Yep.
Daniel Chart does crack me up. Like, if there's somebody that is just like, you know, OT and the rest of it, well, I'm going to be a bit unfair to him because I think he does like Rogue One and Mandalorian and stuff like that. But in terms of like the sequel trilogy, he really does despise it. You know, it's totally black and white for Mr. Daniel Chart when it comes to that. Just going to look down the chat, see if there's any other comments that we can. Christopher Guzman, is it possible for a figure to be high in collector demand but be a retail failure? Wasn't Ice Cream Man like that? So, yeah.
I think Wilro Hood was a case of a few people screaming loudly. I personally never wanted the budget to go to Wilro Hood. I don't know many people that did. But it was like a kitschy figure that a few people got behind and they screamed. Same for Yarna from Jabba's Palace. It was the same thing where a few people screamed about it. So I think it gave the impression that they were, you know, highly wanted, but it was more volume than, well, it was more loudness than actual volume of customers.
I've just put those back on the screen because there's one person that said how many have they missed? Yep. So you've missed the whole thing, mate. We've been going for an hour and 38 minutes. We have revealed them all. This is the top 10 that everyone will be voting from as we go forward. But I understand what you're saying, Chris. Sometimes people do shout loudly for things and that gets through and they don't end up being successful. So, but I feel with this, where, you know, there's a big enough data source, isn't there?
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. I somebody said the Tonicas will flop. I would have personally been worried about them, but not anymore. Not after this. I think it would be smooth sailing for the Tonica sisters, especially since we've talked about how, whichever one Angela Staines plays, is Victoria on? She would know. I don't know if it's I think it's Senny that she plays. Is much taller than Brea Tonica, but we've talked about how, with the barbell that connects the upper and lower torso, you can adjust the heights of figures without requiring new tooling. I think they just did that with the Pre Vizsla figure. He's a little shorter than the same sculpt is a little shorter than the Airborne. So it would really be just, two purchases out of one tooling that you adjust with that barbell and the torso joint and new heads. And I think it's a safe bet. based on what we saw from this.
Yeah, so Q Mighty saying, I'm so surprised this one has made the list. I'm happy, but he's surprised. But yeah, I guess it does kind of help that there is two of them. So some people might have voted for one. Some people just put the Tonica sisters. We group them together. So, because if you make one, you make both, basically. Unless you're Baze and Chirrut, then you only get one. But those two definitely need to come together. But I'm not surprised really, because there has been a lot of noise. Victoria, a good friend of ours, she's really pushed that, and I could see just from around the comment section in various your own website and my comment section, Instagram, whatever. There's definitely a movement for them. So,
and when the line came back, they asked, Hasbro asked, what figures from that were missing from the original lineup people wanted. And, Hut Slayer Leia was number 1. Grand Moff Tarkin was number 2. I'm pretty sure, obviously we're going back to 95, but I'm pretty sure the Tonica sisters were number 3 back then for the figures that were, missed in the Kenner line. So there's always been a long-standing demand for them. I think people they kind of dipped down because people got tired of asking for it. And
they just thought it's never going to happen. And all the whole sort of thing about, license rights, is it, isn't it? Did they sign it? Did they not? Did they get lost in the toilet? Did someone write it on the back of a cigarette packet and all that kind of stuff? I think the person with authority on that subject is Victoria. Yeah. I think she is friends with Angela.
Yeah.
So whatever you hear anywhere else, she is kind of the person you should probably listen to. I think anyway, regarding that subject. I got nowhere. No idea where it is as it stands. For example, what was that, John?
Round 1 has been posted, and the link is out there on Instagram so far. So
there you
go to last.figure.standing, and it's in the profile, and it's also in a story. And we'll obviously make those that link available in other platforms that we have after the show.
We have a question here. When is the last figure standing revealed? So what week is that, Chris? When do we?
That will be Christmas Eve, December 23rd. Which is also Festivus, so it'll be a big celebration when we reveal the last figure standing.
We'll be doing a live stream with our Christmas jumpers on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully it'll be a good Christmas present for everybody. Hopefully it's somebody that they had in their top 10 that ends up winning. That's the ideal scenario. I'm
going to make a bold prediction.
Yeah,
one of the 10 characters on screen is going to win.
Who could it be?
If it doesn't, people are going to scream fix, Chris.
Sneak Han Solo in somehow. Write-in campaign for Han Solo.
Han Solo write-in campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let us know too if you've already gone out there and submitted your votes, or you have seen the form and it's working. But it should be out there, should be good to go. So yeah.
I was just about to say, actually, do you guys have a prediction? But I don't want to do that. I don't want any type of influencing that we potentially would have. Everyone's got their own minds and can think for themselves, but even just us mentioning who we think is going to win, I don't think that's a good idea. We'll leave it to the community to decide, and that's how it should be. And then we can talk about, on the next live stream, our thoughts on, who gets eliminated and who goes through and all that kind of stuff. Just looking at the chat here.
Oh, we've got 21 responses so far.
Nice.
All right.
And don't forget.
So Jeffrey, sorry, Chris, go on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to answer Jeffrey. He says, "Would you guys post top 50 or something?" We're gonna post it all, aren't we? We're gonna be completely transparent about the submissions and how many votes they all got and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if I get it, the data in time, no pressure, Chris. I can put a nice little fancy dashboard together for people to go out there and slice and dice it however they want.
Yeah, and I've experienced one of your dashboards before. They are brilliant because then you've got all these filters, and they're very good. They're very good.
Thank you.
So that
there is a lot of lightsaber holding dueling characters in this, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
6.
Imagine that.
Imagine
people
that.
Like the lightsaber wielders.
yeah. Let's do Morgan Elsbeth instead of Baylan. Oh, I shouldn't laugh.
There's some people who believe Luthen Rael is also a Jedi. Is he? Who knows?
Yeah.
All I know is he's one fine actor because that is the best monologue in Star Wars history.
I watched it again the other day, Chris. I've been watching Andor again through.
Oh, nice. I want to do that.
Oh, it's so good.
It is.
Like, just all the way through that series, everything about it's so good. Like, you have to watch it a few times to see the little things that they say, about the Empire, and it's just so well written. So well written.
I think the first 3 episodes, the pacing's a little for me.
Yeah.
In those, but after that, it just takes off, and you just
it's one of those things where when a new series comes out, you just don't know what to expect, do you? And with Andor, it shocked me more than any other series has, and it was because of the pacing of the first episodes. I was like, I'm not sure if I'm liking this because it was slow. But watching it through again, I didn't notice the pacing because I'm so like in love with the series, basically, and everything about it. You don't notice that, and all of that goes away, and all those sort of fears of like, is this Star Wars? Is it, does it feel like Star Wars? Quickly go away for me. But I know there's a lot of people out there that still think that it's just, it bores them, but I just can't agree with that. But, watching it through again has been brilliant.
I've often said that it's Empire than, as far as quality goes, Empire than Andor for me. It's just behind Empire, but I also don't care if we get any more figures from Andor.
No, I know you don't. No.
Oh man, what about season 1 Mando? Where's that? 3?
You put me on the spot. I don't know. It's a jumble after 2. Those 2, my personal favorite, as I've said many times, is Return of the Jedi. That's my favorite. I'm not.
Yeah. Me too.
So it's hard for me to.
I'm the same as you, Chris. I completely get that The Empire Strikes Back, from a point of quality cinema, is the best Star Wars going. But my favorite is Return of the Jedi. It's what I grew up with. It's the first one I saw in the cinema, and
nice.
It's one of those ones that just if I want to watch Star Wars, I know that I can put that on, and I'll just watch it all the way through.
Do you have to keep calling me the old fart without saying it? I saw.
There's only a few years, Chris.
I saw all 3 in the theater.
How awesome is that?
I've often said I would not trade places with somebody younger because I got to literally grow up with the original trilogy, and I would not trade places with anybody. I would not give up, a few years. Yeah, I would not trade that experience for a few years of youth. Right now, I wouldn't trade places with anybody because I didn't see A New Hope, or just Star Wars. I did not see it in '77. I saw it in '78. According to my dad, I have to trust him that we did not see it in '77. I kind of argue because I feel like we did see it in '77, but he says we saw it in '78. But of course, that had a huge theatrical run because there was no home video, so it was still showing in '78. But we saw that in '78, and then saw Empire Didn't get to see it the first weekend because it was back in the days when one theater in your town or your area showed the movie. That's it. And so you had one theater to go to. So we went on the weekend, and I still remember the line going outside the theater, down the street, and then down an alley next to the theater to get in to see Empire Strikes Back. And my dad said, no way. So he took me my parents let me get out of school early on a Wednesday the following week to go see it. So yes, I did have the best parents. They literally let me skip school to go see The Empire Strikes Back. And so we went to the noon showing or wherever it was. Again, this is just going to be a time capsule of how old I am. We went to the noon showing, and then when we got out, there was still no line to get through, which was, amazing for whatever the next one was, the 3:00 showing, wherever it was. So my dad, do we want to go see it again? And we did, but this is before cell phones and before, answering machines were ubiquitous even. So if we could not get my mother on the landline, like we were talking about earlier, if she did not pick up the phone so we could tell her where we were, we wouldn't have been able to go. So thankfully she picked up the phone. We could say, don't worry, we're just going to go see the movie again. And we'll be home, after 5:00. She picked up the phone. So we actually went right through and saw The Empire Strikes Back again. And then by the time Return of the Jedi hit, in my area, they actually showed it on multiple screens. So I got in to see that on the first weekend.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I always think like it's for the people that did get to see Star Wars, it's not just the fact that they got to see Star Wars and the awesome thing that it is and that it's become. It's also the fact that it was completely, changed everything, didn't it? It was completely different to anything they'd seen before. So it was that sort of impact as well. Do you know what I mean?
And for Star Wars, for Episode 4, I was so young, so I still would have been 5 at the time when I saw it. It's one of those things when you're that young, I didn't really appreciate, like, this is fictional. Like, for me, I was watching a documentary. For all I knew, I was watching a documentary. I can still remember, gripping my seat and, being anxious the entire time, thinking there was real world stakes involved in that one. Watching it. Then, of course, by the time Empire was old enough to realize it was a story and all that stuff, and got into the Star Wars fan club between the movies. You get the Fantha Tracks newsletter and all that stuff, and knew a little bit more about the behind the scenes. And I still think part of Boba Fett's mystique and popularity is because of that rocket firing figure. And, and I still remember, in elementary school, I don't know what you call it, primary school in England.
Yeah.
So in elementary school and at recess, and kids telling me you can peel the sticker off and see the rocket firing Boba Fett. I'm like, no, you're pulling my leg. Ran home, Oh my God, there it is. There's the rocket firing Fett off. I can't believe it. I think that has a lot to do with the popularity and the way they market. They obviously marketed that character very well. Has a lot to do with the popularity of Boba Fett.
Yeah, and then when he was on screen, he looked pretty damn cool.
Yeah,
as far as a design point of view went.
Yeah. Thanks for making me feel really young. I was not even born when Empire Strikes Back came out. I was born that year, and I was 2.5 when Return of the Jedi came out. But one of my daughters is born on May 25th, so
nice.
Yeah, I think that was a nice little nod to that. But I'm so envious of all those stories, Chris. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You got to experience it on home video, right? Which was still.
I mean, we had so many things taped off HBO and moving at one point, found and uncovered so many different movies. You're rummaging through and you're finding all the Indiana Joneses, E.T., Police Academy 1 through 10, Meatballs 1, 2, all these movies. And I actually found a Star Wars VHS that I forgot we had, where before it was named, A New Hope. everything. So
we recorded it off the telly, and I think I remember the commercials as much as I do the film. You know, just like forgetting to forward it on. You know, it's like, oh, not this again. They always used to cut in a really important bit. It's like, what are you doing? Don't do that.
I will say, I mean, what brought me into collecting was the special editions. Like, it brought me back in, and that's when I really, you know, obviously the Power of the Force line, Power of the Force 2 came out, but the special editions, I think, sucked me more so into it.
I think that's the case for quite a lot of people, isn't it? You know, I watched all three of them in the cinema, which is obviously a good experience and whatever. But I think the best thing for me, like, and a lot of people say this, like, what's more important to you, the films or the toys? And like, it is a difficult question to answer because they do go like hand in hand. But I remember going to the cinema and watching Return of the Jedi and walking home and going to the shop and buying.
Awesome.
I bought Luke Skywalker and my brother bought the Biker Scout, and we live on the seafront. So walking home along the seafront on the wall that separates the beach from the thing, we're just playing all along the way home with those figures, and like that's the sort of memories that it gives you, isn't it? And that was awesome.
And the thing everybody says too is especially when the first movie came out, there was no home video, so the only way you could continue the story for over those 3 years was with the toys. That's how kids continued and kept the narrative alive, was through the toys. When you were waiting for the VH. I still remember when the rental of A New Hope came out, and I was in disbelief. I couldn't believe I get to go home and watch Star Wars. I don't have to go to the theater and watch it. I can, because they kept re-release in the theater. They kept re-releasing it. I think every year from 77 to 80. I think they released it every year. So that, you had to go back to the theater to see it. I was in absolute disbelief when I could actually take the cassette from the video rental store home with me and watch Star Wars at home for the first time.
Awesome.
Good times. Good times.
We're up to 76 responses already.
Nice.
Awesome.
Don't forget, you get an entry in the prize raffle for voting in each round.
Yeah, right. Extra. Yeah, that's absolutely right. There are 3. We showed what prizes on. We put those out on social, didn't we?
Yes. Yeah.
What the prizes were. So we're giving away the Endor bunker, the speeder bike with the Mando speeder bike, and what was the third one, John?
Life Day Chewie.
A Life Day Chewie. There you go. So each round you vote, you get an extra entry into potentially winning one of those, which is pretty cool. So Tech489 has said, has anyone got the link? Do you want to drop the link? Have you got the link there, John, that you can drop into the comment section of here or not?
It wouldn't allow me. I think it thought it was spam, and it's not allowing.
Yeah, it doesn't allow links. It doesn't. No.
Yeah. So again, we'll just say, we're going to post it everywhere after this. And you can certainly go to Instagram right now to last.figure.standing and go to the bio there, or the story that it's linked in. But yeah, we'll get it posted everywhere after this.
Yeah, and straight after this stream, I'll put it into the comment into the description of the stream, and then my video tomorrow, Ask Boss Bounty, I'll talk about the last figure standing and make sure it's in that description as well. So hopefully a few people watch that, and then hopefully we'll get more votes, and then hopefully Jason will share it. I'm sure he will. And then we'll get even more flooding, which will be brilliant.
Exactly.
Can you put it in the community chat? Yeah, I can't, mate. It doesn't allow links because you have the no links to stop people spamming it, basically. So, but I'll put it in the description. Once we end, I'll put it into the description. And we're going to end in a minute, actually, because we've gone for nearly 2 hours. So just want to say big thank you to everybody that's watched. At one point, we were up to 312 people viewing. I think that might be a record for my channel on live streams. Maybe one where we had Jason on one time. It might have got a bit higher than that. But I think that might actually be a record. So that's awesome. So thanks to everybody in the community that supported this. At the end of the day, we're doing this because we love the hobby, you know, and we want the community to get what they want from Hasbro, instead of them taking a wee in the dark. You know, we're trying to give them as much information and data as possible so they can give us what we want ultimately. So it's important that you you know, take part and have your own and have your voice. So thanks for everyone turning up, and thanks for everyone that's voted. And Miss Mellon is in the chat, so there you go. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, John. Appreciate it, buddy. We'll talk quickly after we've shut down. Quickly, John, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Star Wars The Vintage Collection Facebook group, or SW The Vintage Collection Facebook group, at The Far Side of Endor on Instagram, and I put together a little blog. It's not very as active as I'd like to be, but johnmiko.com. You can check me out there.
And your YouTube channel.
And YouTube. John Miko, TVC. Very, very complex stuff. Yeah.
Chris.
I'm never prepared for this part for some reason. You ask at every live stream, and I'm never prepared. So if you go to banthaskull.com, you can find me there, and then all our socials are there. If you want to get in touch with me directly, it's Chris Swansky on Instagram, all one word. You can find me there.
There you go. And you can find me on this channel if you want to find me. I don't know. I never know whether Daniel Chart is being sarcastic or not. Where do I vote now? I missed it. So he could be being sarcastic, but I'm going to repeat it anyway. I'll be dropping the link in the description of this video. You can find it on Instagram. All three of us will be posting it around. You'll see it over the next week or so. And it's going to be another Google Sheet. So like the original one that you filled in, voted for your 10, it'll be the same thing. So yeah. So that's it really. Apart from that, we're going to say goodbye. Thanks everybody for watching. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks everyone.